Hello, Southern Tier. Welcome to Off the Record with your weekly highlights of Delaware County news from The Reporter, the county's finest news source. I'm Andrew Cantor with the latest of what's happened and happening in the county this week. Did you know that podcast listeners can try the online version of The Reporter for free for a whole month? Now you do. A month-long digital subscription is $5. But we've got a $5 promo code, so effectively you get the month for free, and then you can decide if you want to keep getting your local news or you want to remain ignorant and confused. All you do is subscribe at the Reporter website, and that's the-reporter.net. Then you use the promo code SAVE5, that's all caps, SAVE and the number 5, and you basically get the subscription free for a month. After that, we think you're going to want to continue to subscribe, and we hope you do. And now, here's a sampling of this week's news from Delaware County. Does the village of Delhi really need its own police force? It's the county seat, right? And it's got the state police there, along with the SUNY campus police. It's even got New York State and New York City environmental police. Now, obviously, Americans love having lots of police, but they also don't like paying taxes, and a third of the village's general fund goes to paying for police. But even Mayor Jeff Gearhart admitted that it sounds like a lot, but of course no one wants to be the trustee who says, hey, let's cut the police. And besides, the other police forces aren't around at night, at least according to trustee Jeremy Fitch. So they tabled the idea of cutting the police force. Last year, the town of Sidney couldn't get one of the state's Restore New York grants, but this year, Councilmember Kevin Green is hoping to change that. The big difference this year is he's going to set his sights a little lower to increase the chance of actually getting the grant. If he's successful, whatever money he can get would go towards replacing a section of the roof at the entrance to Tri-Town Hospital and also giving the hospital a geothermal heating and cooling system so it can reduce its energy costs. Green is actually setting his sights a little higher and a little more long-term. He pitched the other supervisors on hiring a grant writing firm to help the town get some of the many grants that are out there. The idea is that the town would pay Thomas Development Consultants about $7,500 to apply for grants on the town's behalf, and that could hopefully bring in a lot more than that from state and federal government programs. Delaware County has foreclosed on a lot of tax-delinquent properties over the years, but it really needs to get those up for auction and off the county's books. It's actually about 5 years behind. However, that's not as simple as you might think, because, this is government. One of the big stumbling blocks right now is that the county can't officially allow potential buyers to inspect the parcels they may want to bid on. And if that sounds odd, you're not alone. Typically, people do want to see what they're bidding on. The problem is that the county doesn't have liability insurance on the properties it's foreclosed on, because in a weird kind of technicality, the tax delinquent owners still technically own the properties and they can even live there. Now, they probably don't do that, but what it means is the county can't allow buyers to inspect the properties because then the county would have to get liability insurance, which it can't because it doesn't own the properties. Follow all that? Anyway, county officials are working with the folks at Lambrecht Auction in Sidney to figure out how to get the process actually moving and how to deal with the idea of people wanting to see the properties they're going to bid on. We wish everyone luck. Here's a strange fact about Delaware County. If a county employee damages private property, let's say a snowplow rips up a parked car, the county has to pay for the damage, obviously, but only after the owner of the damaged property submits a paid invoice. In other words, first you'd have to shell out the money to get your car repaired, then the county would reimburse you. And if you can't afford those repairs, which happens to be the case for at least one person whose vehicle sustained $900 worth of damage, well, tough cookies. But there is good news. County officials realize that's a problem, so they're doing what government officials do best. They're going to have a committee meeting about it. Good news for Sidney residents, it looks like the town won't have to raise taxes much at all in 2025. In fact, Supervisor Eric Wilson pointed out that Sidney, it's the town, not the village by the way, hasn't raised taxes very much in 8 of the last 10 years. But Wilson did say some of the town's highway department vehicles are going to need replacement soon. That costs a bunch, so residents shouldn't count on escaping tax hikes forever. Big congrats to Walton's brown Swift heifer named Gitana and her owner, teenager Amelia Summers. 8-year-old Gitana took first place and the reserve grand champion title at the World Dairy Expo in Madison, Wisconsin. Summers has raised show cows for a long time, well, long if you're a teenager, and this was Gitana's 4th year competing, in fact. So a high five to Amelia and a high two to Gitana? And now we turn to Looking Back. News from the reporter 100 years ago this week.
Sad news from Lake Delaware. Billy Bouton, the beautiful top-colored blooded coon Angora 4-year-old cat owned by Miss Mary Bouton, was hit by a speeding auto Sunday morning and instantly killed at Mrs. Sum's. A whole community mourns. He was admired by everyone who saw him and was petted and loved by all in the neighborhood. He had qualities and instinct as near human as an animal could be and knew every word spoken to him. Lucky for Billy's murderer, it was only a cat. Next time it may be a child or grown-up, and yet it seems that the continued speeding is allowed to go on regardless of the motor laws, regardless of the signs posted. On the crime beat several days ago, some of the members, upon going to the Congregational Church on the Oulat, found that someone had forced their way into the building and taken the carpet from the floor, about 100 yards of nearly new wool ingrain, all of the lamps from the chandelier lamp, all chains but 2, and brackets and other articles. File under near-death experiences. Harold Cole of Andes, while on his way to the creamery Tuesday morning with his Ford truck, met with an accident that nearly cost him his life. In passing another car, he either ran off the edge of the macadam or had a tire blowout. The car topped over, pinning him underneath. Mr. Cole states that he was being suffocated and had decided on waiting for the end, when the milk from the cans began to run on him, and it appeared to give him new energy, and he began to struggle. Mrs. Ward Truesdale, who lives near, went to his rescue, and by hard work he got freed from his position. Mr. Cole was bruised about the head, but escaped what might have been a fatal accident. Meanwhile, L. Joint Dunn, one of the state road foremen, recently had a bad turnover at Rock Cut Crossing in his coupe. The car turned over 3 times. Though inconvenienced by a painful lameness for a few days, neither Mr. Dunn nor his companion were much hurt. And finally, mark your calendars. Colonel Theodore Roosevelt, Republican candidate for governor of New York State, will speak at Walton, New York on Thursday, October 23rd at 2:15 p.m.
There's more Delaware County news in this week's edition of The Reporter. You can read about how FEMA is helping Middletown prepare for the next disaster, and we've also got the story of how Republicans are illegally taking down signs for Democratic candidates around the county, and how Delhi is looking to update its zoning laws, and that's just for starters. Remember, to get all the news that matters to you and your Delaware County community, subscribe to The Reporter at the-reporter.net or call us at 607-464-4009. We'll see you next week.